Welcome to the podcast. And today's guest is Pam Morrissey, and she has a business called Living Well with Pam. And we're going to talk to her today about her journey and how she came to start this thriving business that she has that is all about appreciating yourself for who you are. So, Pam, welcome. Thank you for being here today. And I'd like you to share a little bit about your journey. So, how did you start? What was your struggle that kind of led you down the road that you ended up on?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so delighted to be here with you and to share a little bit about this story. It began when I was 30, which is now more than 10 years. I'm going to be 41 this year. So I received a type 2 diabetes diagnosis. I had reached 300 pounds, was feeling terribly in my body and had been trying on and off for years to do something about it, but just could not gain any traction at all. So, but that diagnosis really scared me because I always knew that I had a big impact to make and I had things to do and things to experience and a life that I really wanted to enjoy to the fullest. And all this extra weight was just not serving me and was not allowing me to make the impact that I wanted to make. So I was really motivated by fear for those first couple of years. I went full tilt and was like, okay, I can't be here. This can't be my life.
Mhm.
When they sit you in a room and they tell you the complications that come with this disease, it's
Yeah.
frightening. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, like it was a frightening diagnosis. And I was like, okay, well, here we go. I'm not staying here. It was very motivated by fear, which looking back probably didn't serve me as well as I had hoped, but it got me where I was going. It got me down the road. So whatever starts your journey is what starts your journey. And that's okay.
I
It was
agree.
part of, yeah, it was part of getting where I am now. And so I lost 100 pounds over 2 years. It was a
Wow.
very slow and steady process. And I was feeling better. I mean, there's a certain amount of vitality that comes with less weight, but I still wasn't feeling good. And I was
Right.
like, there's something missing. Like, I
Oh,
just,
don't you just love the something missing? And you're like, what is the something?
yes, I know. And like not knowing, like the frustration of not knowing, of like,
That's it.
I don't know what's wrong. Like, I'm physically better. Everyone was celebrating me. I didn't feel like celebrating because I'm like, I feel like I'm a fraud. Like, I physically look better, but mentally, I don't feel good. So I'm like, I need to really um, delve into my mindset
Right.
and find out
So
what's happening.
important.
Yeah, like what's
Yeah.
happening in my head? Like why is do I not feel energetic? Why do I not fill it up? Why do I not feel excited? Like I thought weight loss would equal happiness and it
Right.
didn't.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, well, it needs to be better than this. So here we go again down this road of trying so many different practices and following people about mindset and, really trying to be super positive. And so, like, I really leaned into gratitude and
Mhm.
um, really into the feelings of abundance and being like, okay, I have so much to be grateful for. I have so much to be happy for. Why am I not happy? But it was
Right.
really in that frame of, like there's something wrong. Like I had this belief that there was something wrong, and so because there was, I wasn't allowing myself to feel the depth of my experiences. And
Wow.
yeah, right. Like it just I couldn't connect. I was doing the things. So like they tell you to do like practice gratitude and
Mhm.
be positive and don't allow the negative stuff to bring you down. And I was doing all those things, and I'm like,
Right.
but I still don't feel it. Like, what is wrong with me? Like,
Right. Yeah.
something, there's something wrong. So I was like, okay, there's something else here. I'm like, I need to connect this to me. Like these practices, these rituals, these things I'm doing, I need to connect them to me to understand myself, to get to know myself. And that was really uncomfortable, like
Right.
saying it, like because I knew there was a lot of stuff I didn't want to look at. There
Right.
was a lot of uncomfortable stuff that I was going to have to admit. I was going to have to take responsibility
Hmm.
for a lot of things.
Yeah, it is uncomfortable, but think of all the people who don't want to do that and don't want to be uncomfortable. So already just the fact that you're like, okay, it's going to be tough, it's going to be uncomfortable, but I'm willing to do it. That puts
Yes.
you and those of us who are willing to be so much further ahead.
Yeah, there was just this knowing, right? Like it was this knowing in my body that was like, this is the way forward. You really need to connect these practices to you, to what's important to you, and to who you are as a person. And I honestly, I don't think I knew who I was at that point.
Hmm.
I thought that I knew, I thought I had this vision, but I hadn't really allowed myself to be with myself because I didn't always like what I saw.
Hmm.
So, and that would lead to things like emotional eating and
Hmm.
putting myself down and these periods of really um, motivated and excited and moving forward with energy. And then pushing myself so hard that I had these crashes and I would burn out and be
Wow.
exhausted. And I'm like, why can't I sustain my energy? Like, what is the problem here? And it was because I wasn't connected. My spiritual, like, I had no spiritual guidance. I
Right.
was really just going through the list of things to do from a logical perspective
Right.
and connected to it at a soul deep level. So I got serious about it. I hired a coach and I was like, I need help. Like, what do I do? What's like, how? I don't know. Like, I am open. Tell me the things to do. Best decision of my entire life.
Excellent. That's wonderful.
Down best decision of my life. And it was scary. Like it was scary to say, like, to be like, I have to like unload my stuff on someone else. I need to admit where I have faltered. I need to be
Mhm.
willing to take radical responsibility for my life. And I knew it was going to be super uncomfortable, but I was here for it because I'm like, I have one life. This is it.
Yes.
This
Yeah,
is
none
my
of us is
life.
getting younger, so we've got to live what we have.
Right. And I'm like, I want it to be joyful and exciting and energizing. And there was part of me that knew that that was available to me. I
Hmm.
just didn't know how to get it. So I'm like, I'm just going to ask for help. So I
Good for
asked,
you.
and it was a beautiful experience. It was
That's
so
wonderful.
amazing.
So
It was
how
an
long ago was that? So 10 years ago you got or a little over 10 years ago you got the diagnosis and then you lost the weight and then you went through this period and then how long ago did you hire that coach?
4 years ago.
Okay.
4 years ago, I think, 4 or 5. Can't remember
Wow.
exactly. Yeah, so it was about halfway through before I was like, okay, I'm done doing it on my own. Like I'm done trying.
Yeah. Sometimes just doing it on your own, like you need someone to show you the way. That's, I think that's why we become coaches or, mentors or whatever we decide to do if we want to make an impact. It's like, okay, this is how I did it. Don't waste your time. Like, you can have this too.
Exactly. Well, and I had no intention of being a coach when I started down that road. I wasn't a coach at that point.
Yeah.
I was in network marketing actually, for a wellness company because wellness was my jam because I taken I had taken this journey and it was a beautiful experience. I'm super grateful for it. But once I got in there and started doing the things and really took a long look at, so I was in that container for 2 years, because I really felt like I needed to do a deep dive and I did a lot of inner work and a lot of um, just feeling the feels and allowing myself to feel the feels because
Right.
for so long I was bypassing.
Hmm. Yeah, it
I
never works.
no, like, spoiler alert, you got to deal with your stuff. Like
Yeah, pretty much.
if you want long-term success, you've got to deal with your stuff because it's
That
going to
is
keep
so
coming up.
true. Yeah.
It's going to keep coming up and you're not going to feel as amazing as you deserve to feel. But once you understand that it's really not as scary as you think, it was way scarier in my mind than it
Then it
was in
really was. Yeah.
yeah, like it really wasn't that hard. And being able to, like, looking back, it wasn't that hard. While I was going through it, it felt really hard. I'm not going to like sugarcoat that or say, but looking back now, it didn't have to be that hard. Like
Yeah.
if I had surrendered to the process,
Right.
like there was so much resistance because I was like, no, I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to feel this way. But it was like surrendering to it's okay to feel. And it's actually part of the human experience. And it like feeling all of it allows you to feel the amazingness of life, the fullness of life, the
That's
joy.
true.
I had a mentor who I have now who loves to say, and which I borrow all the time because I just think it's so amazing that if you want to be available for joy, you had to be available for sadness.
Hmm.
Like it's you
That's
have to pick up
true.
the you have to pick up the whole spectrum. You have to be willing to feel it all. And so now there's this beautiful resiliency that I have where I know I can handle anything.
I love that.
Right? Like like it is amazing to have that kind of confidence in yourself
Hmm.
and to have the kind of clarity of knowing exactly what you're supposed to do,
Yes,
exactly who you are, and
exactly.
exactly what sets your soul on fire. Like what
Hmm.
it that is an amazing feeling
Oh, yeah.
and it's available to everyone. Like
Yes.
everyone.
Yeah. As long as you can get through all the kind of yucky parts of digging deep and getting through all the other things, yes, it is.
Yes. But that's the value of support. Like that is and that's why I'm such an advocate of um having someone, like
I
having someone in
agree.
your corner, having someone to talk to, having someone to be like, why is this happening, why is it so hard,
Yeah, and
and
to hold you accountable, I think too, and to also let you know, okay, I've been through it, and you don't have to go through it alone. I have the way, like I can show you.
yes, and it's that perspective, right? Like bringing it into perspective of, is it really as bad as you think, is it really as tough as you think, what story are you telling yourself about it?
Exactly. Yes.
Right? Because we get into that. Like we believe things that aren't true and we say things that aren't true and we take on, society's pressures and all the things that don't have
Absolutely.
to be yours. Like
Yeah,
nothing is true unless you believe it's true. Like
exactly. Nothing means something unless you make it mean something.
exactly. Like it's a freeing and liberating feeling
It
to,
is.
yeah, to step into your power. To
Exactly. I love that. Good for you.
yeah, it's been beautiful. I love
Yeah,
it.
so what kind of made the flip for you? So once you hired your coach and you worked through those things, like what was the moment where you said, I have to do something. I have to start a business around this and show people how it's done.
It was a very gentle progression, actually. I was feeling a lot of resistance in my network marketing business. It didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel
Mm.
authentic. And um, we had been talking about maybe that wasn't in alignment for me for a while, but I was, again, resistant because for those of you who know human design, generators go all in. So, like, I was
Yeah.
all in.
I'm one too, so I totally get it.
Yeah, I was all in on the business and on growing it, and I felt passionate about the products and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't like the processes, and I didn't like how I felt doing it. And
Mm.
so it was a process of like first letting that go and grieving the loss of that because I had made beautiful friendships, an amazing
Mm.
and an amazing community, and thought I was in it for life. Like was completely so. It was first grieving that loss a little bit and then stepping into, okay, what do I want, and
Yeah.
really allowing myself to be like, who do I want to be, how do I want to show up in the world, how do I want
Hmm.
to serve, like because I
Beautiful.
always had this like desire to serve but never really knew what it looked like. So I just allowed it came to me in the shower.
I love that.
Well, that's life, right? Like when you're doing
Yes.
those mundane things, that's when like the idea comes to your head. And I'm like, I'm going to be a wellness coach. I'm like, that's what I'm going to do.
That is so
And
funny. I love that.
yeah, and I was so excited. I was so excited, but then immediately terrified because I was like, someone who looks like me can't be a wellness coach. Someone who, and so there was a lot of that, right?
I
There
was
was a
gonna
lot
say that sounds like a story. Like, where
of,
did you pick that one up from?
Well, because like I hadn't reached all my goals yet, right? Like I haven't achieved perfection. So if
Oh,
I haven't achieved perfection, who am I to teach you about your life and what's important to you?
oh boy, don't we all have that story? I think so.
There is no perfection. Like
Exactly. That's it.
yeah,
Oh
there
God, if
is.
only.
Yeah, so that was a beautiful journey in itself, like coming to the place where I'm confident in myself. And now I don't call myself a wellness coach anymore. I do call my, it doesn't feel as juicy. So now I call myself an intuitive life coach, because I
Like that.
have a strong intuition, and but it does all center around taking care of you. That's
Yeah.
what it's about. It's about taking really good care of your physical body, of your mental health, of your emotional health, and of your spirituality. It marries all of those things together
Yeah.
so that you can have the most beautiful experience right now. Not
Yes.
like I'm going to be happy when,
Yeah.
but
That's so
I'm
true.
happy now. Like I'm joyful now. I'm excited now. Like we get to a place where I can find you something to be happy about today. Like
Right. No, that's so important.
yeah, like it's easier than people think. Like I did a post about this today where it was like it doesn't have to be this big scary change. It can be just small steps and tweaks that
Hmm.
really impact your whole experience.
Right. So what
That's,
would you say if you were to tell someone one thing or two today that they could do to change their experience, what would be your biggest piece of advice?
I knew you were going to ask me this question. And I was like, I was going through my mind and I was like, no, I'm just going to let whatever comes up in, in the moment. Because like, there's so many different ways that I could go with this because there isn't just one thing. Like that's the thing. Like and that's what I do is so different than what a lot of people do. Like it's a personalized experience to you and what you need. It's like all the work that I do is like that. But there are certain practices that support everyone. So, I mean, gratitude, I never miss. Like I have a gratitude list and more deeply than I'm grateful for my husband, I'm grateful for my house, I'm grateful for money. But like connecting yourself to that gratitude. So
So
why
how
are
would
you
that look different?
yeah, so it's like why are you grateful for your husband?
Okay.
What has he done for you today that makes you super grateful for him? And
Okay.
then at the end of that saying thank you, saying thank you for it. So I do 10 a day.
Okay. Okay. I like
Day.
that.
Yeah, it's like I have a practice every night before I go to bed. I do the 10 gratitudes, then I do a celebration post. Today I'm celebrating. Like
Ooh,
it's I like because celebration is so important. Recognizing that you're doing the work,
right.
remembering that you're showing up. Like that
Yes.
is because sometimes the small tweaks are so subtle that you don't really notice how it feels right away.
Right.
But when you take that minute to celebrate and be like, no, I'm celebrating this. Like this felt really good today. Like I'm happy about this. Like this makes me
Yeah.
super happy.
That's beautiful. I
And
like
that's
that.
yeah. And then I do like I am statements at the end. So like I am happy, I am strong, I am joyful, I am energetic, I am kind, I am loving, like I am successful, like whatever it is that comes to me. It's an
Hmm.
intuitive exercise that comes to me that allows me to step into the best version of myself. And I close my day on that note because I think going to bed in that frame of mind is so good
I
and it
love
helps you
that.
sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just, I just, so that would be my number one that you could implement today to notice.
Excellent.
Um,
I like that. Yeah,
yeah.
something somebody can implement right now if they're watching this and they say, life has been hard, it's been difficult, whatever it is. What can they do today? And that's beautiful. I really like that.
Thank you.
So, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I mean, really, it's just about getting to know yourself and looking below the surface and really allowing yourself to unlock that natural energy that lives inside you. There's nothing outside of yourself that you need. Like it all lives within you. So going deeply into yourself and giving yourself that time and space and doing it with someone who really understands and wants you to win.
Right.
And it is such a meaningful experience and will change the trajectory of your life. Like you will wake up a completely different person, and it will be such subtle shifts that it will feel like a beautiful, easy
Mhm.
experience.
Wow.
Yeah, so like really connect to yourself, connect to your desires, connect to who you really are, get to know yourself and what you really want and what that really feels like. Because
Right.
like it's not just about
Yes.
the thing, right? It's about how that thing feels. Like how does
Mhm.
that feel in your body? What is that experience going to feel like? How can I bring those feelings to me now? Like
Mhm.
what can I do to bring those feelings to me right now, today?
That's fantastic. And my last question for you is what is your personal definition of empowerment?
It's, oh my goodness, that's a good question. Take a second and think about it. I mean, I ask about all the time, like, where is your power? It's, again, the power is within you. Like, so not giving your power over to anyone else, that you are your power. Like,
I love
you,
that.
like you, it's you. Like, so as long as you feel strong and are feeling like you're standing in your power and not giving that power away, calling it back, like whenever you feel like, and listen, it's going to try to get away. That happens. That's life. That's
That's so true.
right. Like that's human. Like you're human. Allow yourself to have the human experience. Like, oh, so just, and being empowered means you can call it back. So if your power runs away from you, like, no, no, I'm not putting it over there. I'm bringing it back to me. I'm
Right.
bringing it back to this moment, to what's
That's
important to me, to what
a
feels good.
very, very good reminder.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Pam. I'm so happy that you've been here and thank you for your inspiration. And thank you all for watching.
Thank you. This is beautiful.
All right. Thank you.